1.
Hey everybody, welcome back to UKSG. Now before we get started with this next run, I do want to read out a very important donation, and that is the promised one from Dance Dad himself. He throws in $75 and says, wow, just wow. Can't believe that perfect was achieved in the end. Here's what we owe for that one, and our apologies for Moobot shenanigans. Keep on grooving all, and stay safe. So, Dance Dad, thank you so much. That was an amazing run. And here, we're going to lead it right on in to Mr. GrizzzzBear with Prince of Persia and the Sands of Time. Grizz, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Nordic. And once again, your voice is beautiful. Right, okay. So, this is Prince of Persia, Sands of Time. I'm running any percent, no major glitches. If anybody doesn't understand what NMG is, basically, it's the most casual way you'll play this game. Because there's no way you can run through this game, speedrunning or otherwise, without encountering some sort of glitch. So, if we're ready on time, I'll start you off with 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. So 3 seconds in, we've already got a cutscene. Excellent, happy days. We got a tiny bit of movement and straight into a cutscene where we're locked in place for a bit. Now, the start of this game is like every other category because we don't have the dagger of time to abuse for glitches. Not that we could do it in this category anyway. So this first segment, up until we get the dagger, will be the exact same as it would for any other Sands of Time run, regardless of what category you're running. So straight off, going to run over here and try and do a skip straight away. I failed it. We're already a few seconds behind, which is bad. Oh well, we've got a 2-hour estimate, which should easily be beatable. I did do a run before this, about a few hours ago, and I did get myself a new PB, so we should be all good on that front, unless something major goes wrong, and it's Sands of Time, so I'm expecting it to do so. Right. So if you've seen Sands of Time runs before, this will be pretty standard to you, I guess. Just going to run all the way through the dagger of time. So I should probably give a little bit of detail about the movement that we have to abuse in this game. So, first thing to note is that... oh, what was I about to say? First thing to note is we do a lot of rolling, because rolling has a highest acceleration value, and because of which we can abuse that to do minor little things here and there, and set up for a good little jump here, which will drop us straight away down, get on that hill, and automatically go at full pelt in the running. Because running works in a weird way in this game. You have a small bit of acceleration until you hit max run speed, and we want to, if we have a downhill section, we want to be running. If we have a flat land next to a straight wall, we want to be wall running, as that's the fastest form of movement. But anything else, we just want to be rolling. So, 4 enemies here. These enemies are very easy to deal with. Just going to run past them all. Run into this corner at a certain angle to get a tiny little teleport along that ledge. Just to skip half a second's worth of movement. But in a category that's all about optimizing your movement, it's very valuable to have that. I mean, it's only half a second over a course of a... What is the world record now? Like 1 hour 37 or something like that, I think it is. It might be even lower than that, to be honest. But, yeah, every little half a second you can make counts. So, we're going over to the Dagger of Time, and you'll notice that while, if you've played this game before, you know that there's this whole kind of like section there you have to go through, but we're going to be skipping all that. We're going to be running over here, getting past the first trap segment, which is over here, and then we're going to be doing our first big skip of the run, essentially. These are the traps that I'm on about. We're going to be doing a skip called Dagger Rally, and this is done in every category of Prince of Persia Sands of Time. It's quite an easy skip to do once you know the positioning for it, but I suck at this game, so I'm probably not going to get a first try, even though I am going to try for it. Bit low. Yep, that was too low. So what this does is this skips about 3 minutes worth of actual casual movement. And I know I'm failing it quite a few times, but even still, even if I get it on this one, I'm still saving time over the casual route. I feel like I should be standing a bit more to the right. There we go, got it that time. Even still, with all those fails, I'm saving time over the casual route because of how long just going around that segment takes. So, once again, we're going to see the dagger at time, say goodbye to it, and then just run away. Because we've hit a trigger that the game can only recognize as we have the dagger at time right now. Because how can we be at that point without the dagger at time? But it's fine, it doesn't cause us any problems. The only thing that it does change is the fact that we only have 0 sands actually in the next room. So, in this room here, we'll only have 0 sands. Whereas if we did collect the dagger in the previous area, we would have a maximum of 3. So it doesn't really waste a lot, to be honest with you. I mean, we have to kill these enemies anyway. And this is where the run really begins, because in any percent, we would collect 2 sands, or 3 sands, I can't remember how many it is, and just mosey on through with a few zips to the next area. Can't do that, zips aren't allowed. If we were doing zipless, we would collect those sands and take that enemy over to a doorway and use his body to clip through it. You can't do that, it's NMG. So we have to kill every single enemy that's in this place. And it takes a while for them to spawn, so I just stand in the middle there. But I've got into landscape for a reason here. So during fights, when you retrieve an enemy like you do just there, you have a chance to get a slow motion kind of cinematic camera. We want to avoid that as it's slow. Like I say, it's slow motion. So to do that, if we stay in landscape mode, we will never get that slow motion camera. And that is the whole point of this landscape mode. You'll see me doing this a lot in combat. Quite literally just speeds it up a little bit. Sheath our sword as soon as we can, so that we don't get stuck in another cinematic camera where the prince will sheath his sword. And that there is Farah. She has one use in this run. Her use is to stay alive and not get in our way. As like any other category, we're going to be leaving her far behind in a few places.
You think me mad. I can see it by the look in your eyes. You think my story is impossible. Perhaps I am mad. Who would not be driven mad by horrors?
Right, so this is the Sultan's, well, first guest room really. So there is a skip here, and it's the exact same skip that we use in Zipless. So we're going to bounce on that wall to land on this ledge, turn the camera around so we're facing the opposite way, and use that to wall run, skipping the entire lower floor of this section here. Very easy skip to do, very simple skip. You'll notice a lot of similarities in this run to Zipless because they are very similar categories. But Zipless is just a lot more fun because of the amount of glitches you can abuse in that. Whereas this one's a lot more casual, it's a lot more... I'd like to say it's a lot more fun in its own sense. Because it's, like I said at the start, it's the most casual way you'll play this game. And it's quite fun just to chill and just play this game normally without abusing the hell out of it for a change. So... again here, exact same thing as Zipless. Just roll down here, run into the wall so that we can get up to the next area ever so easily. Going for the torpedo, just to break the boxes quickly, so we can get up and over here, down. Torpedo off there. Again, just optimizing movement. And this is where we meet Farah. So once again, Farah, she's kind of like our companion during this run. She's going to be a little bit of help to us, but she's more than likely just going to get in our way, and hopefully she will not cause a game over later in the run. There's one possibility of a crash, but hopefully we won't hit it. There is a strat to avoid it, but it's not 100% consistent. I'm just going to bounce on there to avoid all the scarabs. You don't have to do that, but it's just, I like to do it because it's nice and simple. And gets you out of the way of them quite quickly. So. Welcome to the Sultan's Chambers. We're going to be skipping a lot of this. So there's different levels that you have to climb down essentially in this place, but we're going to skip most of them just by doing a torpedo there, so that we can land on a door frame to get down to the very bottom section. Wait. We're going to jump onto this pole and just kill ourselves. The reason being is because when we did that torpedo, we skipped a lot of load triggers. So by doing the death there, it just reloads us into this area with all the triggers loaded. That was not very nice, lady. So already we're coming on to the palace defense system, which is, if you play this game casually, a lot of people's like major blocks. Like people get really struggle on this puzzle for some reason. So I'm going to do a wall bounce there just to skip over a cutscene. Hopefully not run back into it, like because I'm an idiot. And then just run over to the actual defense system itself. And I'm going to shut up because this is Loud God.
System. It'll take both of us to do it. I'll reset the axles for you. The man who's normally in charge of this got... Never mind. Ride the platform down to the bottom. Then use those two cranks to bring it back up. You see those 4 axles? You'll need to pick them up one by one until you've got all 4. Then bring them up to the top together. Make sure you pick them up in the right order.
Game. Excuse me. Game, please. Game. Oh, there we go. Jesus Christ, what the hell happened there? Oh, I'm leaning on my keyboard. I think I might have just alt-tabbed. Oops. That was a stupid thing to do. Alright, that's my one moment, okay?
That's it! One crank turns the platform! The other one raises and lowers it!
Alright. I've had my one moment, okay? That's all that's gonna happen, okay? Only one. It's late at night. Where the hell am I going? There it is. Okay. No, it's not that one. It's this one. Oh, God. Right. I had a nap and everything. I've had 2 cups of tea. I'm feeling good, and I'm already messing up on palace defense. That's not a good sign, but I'll come back. I'll come back. Right, so like I said though earlier, this is a very simple puzzle when you know what you're doing, but it's a big wall for some people to get by casually. I know I struggled with this as a kid.
Just one more!
But you do it once and then you just never forget it, essentially. At least that's how I feel about it. Like, even when I've had a good long break from running NMG, like, the puzzle combination never leaves you.
Now, bring them up to the top and line them up with their gears.
There we go, and that's the puzzle. Very easy.
That's it! I knew you could do it! Now, there's one last step. Do you see that platform? Throw your lever, and I'll throw mine. Ha!
I'm literally just being quiet for Loud God. I have too much respect for him.
Serve those accursed demons right! Oh, by God, they'll rue the day they ever dared attack the Palace of Azad!
And rip Loud God. Can I get some Fs in chat for Loud God, please? He will be missed. Like, with SOT Remake coming out next year, I really, really hope that Loud God is still in there. Of all things that I want for Sands of Time Remake, I want Loud God. Right, so we pulled that lever. There's a whole little thing that we're meant to go around, like parkour that we're meant to be doing. Like going up on ledges, avoiding traps. You can quite literally just cheese this entire thing by just running on the underground. And then just coming up at the end. Really easy. Gonna hug this left wall here to skip a cutscene. That would play when you enter this area. Very easy to do. This one here, we're going to line up ourselves up properly, if I can do it. And then climb ourselves up here, skipping another little section where we'd have to kill some enemies and activate a switch. But really easy to do. Run up against a tree, and there you go. Oh, I should probably get my health back, actually, since we're going into dad fight after this. The hardest part about this game is controlling the camera. And knowing what the camera is going to do at certain points. It still is a little bit of a problem, especially for experienced runners. But at the same time, it can be somewhat dealt with. These soul blades annoy me. Because every so often, I feel like I'm on the perfect route for it. And I'll still hit them. Just a little bit too slow, I guess. Just a little bit. I'm not even going to bother risking going over the top. You can go over the top of some of these soul blades. I'm not going to risk it on these ones. Like I say, they mess me up more times than not. So, you've gone through the entire palace now, chasing after Farah, trying to find out what she's all about. Little did the prince know she's actually all about crashing games. So, why he's decided to follow her, I do not know. Another small little time save here. You can jump across that and it'll put you on the perfect angle to land on that ledge. Just a small little time save. Draw a sword here and roll into the cutscene. Very simple. It's funny because the prince will stab himself in the face. So, we are now at dad fight. And this is where the real game begins. Because now, unfortunately, people, we have to kill our father. So again, like I said before, just going to set myself up so I'm in a good position. Go into landscape mode. And then just start killing enemies. And that guy's blocking me. Because he can. Now he's not. So I'm doing something else now. Oh well, I'll get some health back later. So. You'll notice I'm doing something different on these blue guys. I'm going straight into a finisher, which puts the blue guys straight on the floor. It's pointless using them on the red ones, because you can literally just hop over them and then they're good to retrieve. But the blue ones, you can't run over the blue ones. So to deal with them, we either have to torpedo attack them, or we just have to hit them hard enough so that they'll go down. And a power attack is the easiest way to do it. So to do that, you just do 2 taps of the directional stick towards the enemy. What the hell is this? 2 torpedoes I've missed now, what the hell? You do 2 taps in the direction of the enemy and then just press sword attack. And that's how easy it is to do that. Very simple technique. The problem is this game has a very heavy auto target, so your power attack, you have to make sure that you're targeting the correct enemy before you go into it, otherwise you'll just do a regular slap or a kick towards an enemy, or he'll block you. So this is Dad, last guy. Gonna counter his attack, roll out of his way, step towards him, power attack, and then that's the fight. Very simple to do. So, Dad is dead. We get our next save point. So we're going to do something that we probably shouldn't be doing. We're going to crash the game. Not because of Farah. We're going to crash it ourselves manually. So, something that we use in this run, in this game for speedrunning, is a program that was made by another runner, Sphere. That has since been adapted by other runners as well, which auto crashes and auto closes the game as to make it fair between all runners, as alt tabbing and closing varies depending on PC power. So to make it fair between all runners, we use this program to make it as fair to everybody, as alt tabbing and closing can vary between different people, different powers of PCs and runs and stuff like that. So this is where the real game begins. We slap Farah once to reduce her health ever so slightly, and that's going to be useful for something later, because if we were to run away from Farah like we are now, her health would go down because she is being left in an area with enemies. Now that runs on a timer, and we can abuse that timer down here to activate this switch. And when we activate this switch and open the door, we will get a checkpoint, which is right there. So now that Farah's dead, the game will game over inside the cutscene, but because we've already gotten the checkpoint, we can just reload the save from there, rather than having to wait for her to die after that and reset the game with the game over. So, up here, if you look at the top left, there was a health upgrade there. We're not going to take that because we're gamers, we don't need them. So, next thing is we're coming straight up to the warehouse, which is a very fun segment for me to do, I guess. I enjoy doing warehouse, because we use one of the older strats. It's very similar to the old zipless route. But I'm going to do something here that hopefully I'll get. And I did. So that skip there, mashing landscape when you run into this cutscene, lets you move freely for about a couple of seconds. So that lets me place a prince right in front of the door, so that I can run straight into this room here. Otherwise, you'd just be like maybe a step or two behind. But it's quite literally just
Find a way.
save a second or two, but that's how this category works. You save seconds over the course of the run by just optimizing your movement.
Stay there.
So this is a little bit of a boring section right here. We're just going to be going down a few levels. Not really much to explain here and now. Mr. Hosts, is there anything that you could potentially say right now?
Oh, there's a number of things I could potentially say, but maybe a few things I should say.
Let's go with that.
For instance, you know, like we here at UKSG, we're helping to promote staying indoors right now in these trying times by giving you some prime entertainment with a huge variety of speedruns and speedrunners from all around the world. Now, speaking of Prime, have you heard of a little thing called Twitch Prime? Because if you have an Amazon Prime account, you have a free sub available to you every single month. Maybe you have your Twitch Prime just sitting around waiting to be used. If you do, why not consider using it here on the channel to help support us and to support Crisis? You know, you can also gift subs, and that's an amazing way to show support. You know, you can do that in batches of 5 and 10, and if you do, that might kick off a hype train. How awesome would that be to end the night with a hype train, folks? Yeah, right now we're sitting at $1,395 raised for Crisis. I'm going to throw out a challenge. Let's see if we can't get that to cross 1,500 before the night's done. You've got about, what, an hour and a half or so to get those in? I think we can do it. So that's my challenge to you, everyone.
Right, so what I'm doing here is I am setting up for quite a precise jump so that I can jump down here. Oh, that's not how I wanted it to go, but let's rewind back anyway. That one looks marginally better. That's how I wanted it to go. So, we jump down there, which skips the bottom half of warehouse. Run over here, look at Farah's dead body, and reset the game. So, there are no enemies down here, but if you've played Sands of Time casually, you'll notice that there should be enemies down here. We did a little jump earlier that allowed us to skip that enemy load trigger so that we can come down here, do what we need to do without the issue of having to go around enemies, which makes it very easy. Another easy thing to do is usually you'd have to activate another switch to get back up here, but if you line this up just correctly, you can jump right back to the platform, which is nice and simple. Really, really easy to do. I'm also going to do another skip here if I can line it up correctly. Right, I'm going to stand in this doorway, look a certain way, and the doorway will push me through the lock for the cutscene so that I can just run around and just save a few seconds worth of movement. Nice and easy to do. And now we're in the zoo. And this is where the real game begins, because there's something else that we have to be wary of down here, which is birds. There's a new enemy type. Don't worry about these guys with the hammers. They're not important. They're very easy to defeat. Just run over them and just slap them twice. Very easy enemy to defeat. But it's the birds that you have to watch out for. So, just to be on the safe side, I don't really want to do it, but I feel like I'm going to have to. I'm going to take a safety save here, because I've just remembered that there is a potential crash point here. If you hit the wrong bird in this next part, then your game can potentially crash. So let's just quickly grab that safety save. So I'm going to look at the camera here, line myself up properly. Didn't line myself up properly because I'm an idiot. There we go, that one's good. No, not. Yep, there we go. Want to land on this ledge here, run all the way along, up here. And these are the birds that I'm on about. Because you need to hit this bird first, then try and hit the other two. I missed one, so that's 3 birds that have to be going, that I have to kill down here now. But if you do let Farah in, you can hopefully snipe one of these 3 birds when it comes
I
down.
don't think they did survive.
Hopefully. Well, that looked like it hit to me, but game be game. There we go, that one hit. So got to wait for the other 2 now, because Farah has a use here, and she needs to press a switch. Farah, the bird is above you. Just shoot it, please. Don't stand still, shoot the bird. Oh well, I'll deal with it myself. Alright, so, like I say, Farah only had 1 use here. And once I move that box, she'll go and do it. But Farah in this game can go through certain cracks. To progress the game, she'll come out of there, activate that switch, which will open this doorway right here. So if I stand here, there's a cutscene through this doorway as well, so I kind of want to try and avoid that. Which is nice and easy just by lining yourself up correctly and doing a roll. So again, there's a tiniest of skips up here as well. If you run at a good enough angle here, you can get onto this ledge and skip going around the top of the birdcage. But it's, like I say, this category is full of tiny little skips that shave off seconds of gameplay. There's a few of them that skip a big portion of the game. Like Sultan's Chamber had one where we torpedoed on top of the door, and I'll do another one in a little bit, but it's going to be just a little bit longer until I can get to that area. So down, oh wait, can't go down here yet, can't go down there yet, because I need to go and get Farah. In Zipless, we would just carry on because Farah wouldn't even be with us at this point. We would have left her far behind. But in NMG, we do have to go and get Farah. I know she's useless to us right now, but she can actually be helpful in this next fight. Can be. Doesn't mean she's going to be.
Perhaps you will also believe me when I tell you that.
So these are Scarabs. These are quite the worst enemies in the game. Everybody hates them. They're useless, pointless enemies. If anything, I hope these enemies are not in Remake. So I'm going to try and not do something to not get the camera, the sheathing animation. Like the, what you call it? Fuck, what the hell's its name? The cutscene where the prince will sheath his weapon after every battle. And you can avoid that by having either Farah kill an enemy or torpedoing into an enemy. But Farah killed him, so it's alright. So, again, we're just waiting on Farah to open this door for us with another switch. And that is quite literally the only reason why we needed her. Oh, wrong way. Destroy these barrels, grab the switch. And here we go with another trap corridor. This trap corridor is actually relatively simple to navigate. You just run to that side, run over those two, run over those, and then attempt the cribbing and fail it because you've got to go for at least a couple of memes in this run. If you line that up perfectly, you can roll in between those two spikes, and it's called the cribbing because a runner by the name of Cribbin didn't know that you could walk over spikes, so it's where the meme came from because he tried to roll in between the spikes all the time. So that is quite literally the best place to do it. We'll see how nice birds are in this run. Birds are being nice. Excellent. That bird can just attack you while you're running along that wall, but you decided not to today, so that's a good sign. Again, another tiny skip here for movement. You can jump down here if you line it up correctly. There's you climbing along a wall and dealing with birds. So now that we're over here, the birds will not aggro on us, but they will fly around us, but they won't actually attack. This dude's all up on my face. He won't bother me at all. Nice and simple. So, we're coming into the bath segment, and this is where the real game begins, because there is a big skip here. The skip that could fail and potentially game over and crash the game. So if this fails, I'm going to be very sad. I will be very sad indeed. So we need Farah to follow us here, because we can't let her get stuck. Yes, she's followed. Excellent, happy days. That's a good sign. But that is not the place where she can ruin our entire run, essentially. I see you, Smartlax, and I know that we can let Farah into the crack, but we're speedrunners. I'm stuck in the sledge now. There we go. Fixed it. So, there is a... Okay, that was something weird that I didn't expect to happen, but okay. So, the safety strat is to let Farah into the crack, but we're speedrunners. We don't do safety strats here. We are going for optimal time save everywhere. So, there is a strat to avoid the crash, and I'm going to do that, and hopefully it works. Because if it doesn't, I'm going to be a very sad bear. So, now that we're up here, skipping the entirety of the bath segment, where you go along and just do a bunch of shenanigans to get the water to activate boxes and stuff like that. Farah, please, my girl, where are you? Farah? Farah. Where are you? There you are. I can hear you. There you are. Took your time, didn't you? You spent a long time in combat. Right, that should be good enough. So. Run over here, reset the camera, look into this corner at a specific angle. Run into said corner with the weapon drawn, so we stop, and then torpedo off of it. That should, in theory, prevent the game over. If Farah moved correctly down below, we should be good. Should be, is a theory. And we are. We would have had the game over by now, so everything should be hunky-dory. So that was the one place that the game could crash. The game can still crash. If I mess up any of this segment, then the game will crash. Because now that Farah is now in a state called... well, she's not in a state called Twisted Neck yet, but she is in a randomized state now. So if I try and rewind, the game will look for Farah and will cause a game over because it can't find her. Now that we've gotten this sword though, we should be okay. So now we need to get down, now that we've got second sword. We're going to look into this area here, jump towards this pillar, and then there we go, we're down. We're down, no problems whatsoever. These enemies are giving me problems, and I ran into the cutscene. Oh well. Well, at least you get to see Farah in a Twisted Neck state, which is a good sign. So if it wasn't for enemy memes there, we wouldn't even see this cutscene, but at least now you get an idea of what this area looks like. So, the reason why we can now do whatever we want to do now is because... Game, please. Is because Farah is now in a state called Twisted Neck, which her head is now twisted in a 180-degree angle. So because of that, we are now free to do whatever we want to do and leave her behind for now at least. We will need her back now we will need her back later on. I ran into the cutscene. Oh well. Feel like that should have worked, but oh well. So now, just going to continue on as normal, and when I get to the next area, I'll actually show you what Twisted Neck State looks like. I don't know if you got a good look at it before, but in this run, you'll be able to see exactly what Twisted Neck looks like. Because to get Farah out of that state, we either need to die and restart, or we need to... It's quite essentially slap Farah out of it. And you'll see what I mean with that in a second. If I can get this next skip to work. So, gonna jump here, drop down, jump over to this, hold W, and jump at the right point. Nope, I didn't jump at the right point. Gonna give that one more go, methinks. Nope, not gonna work. I'm just mistiming that, so I'll give up on that for now. Right, so we need Farah out of this Twisted Neck State right now, and this is Twisted Neck State. Quite literally. You see what I mean? So we slap Farah out of it, and now she's back to normal. So the reason why we need Farah is because we need to quite literally make her operate a switch. And Scarabs, please. This is why I hate Scarabs. The easiest way to deal with them is torpedo attacks. But SOT being SOT, it doesn't like torpedo attacks much. There we go. So, we're going to move this box to show this crack to Farah so that she can get in the crack. And while she's doing that, I can explain a bit about the first person glitch that we use in Zipless. We don't use it in this category, but this box was used to find the first ever first person glitch. And it was found by an absolute lad called Hanajo, who does still run this game every now and again. And the mad lad was randomly just messing around with that box, went into first person mode and managed to rotate the box, which is gone down in history as it's completely changed the Zipless category. So thank you, Hanajo. You have both enlightened and ruined Zipless speedrunners forever. So again, we got another little fight here. Nothing we can really do here except kill a few enemies. We're not going to kill them all, but we're going to kill a few of them. If the game would let me torpedo off this thing. Gonna do that, and then now we can run over to this doorway. The reason why we have to kill 3 of them, well, we don't have to kill 3 of them, it just makes it easier to break down this wall. As this second sword has the magical ability to break walls for some unknown reason. You just can. Just go with it, okay? So, we don't have to do that wall bounce over there, but just enjoy this messed up cutscene now that I've done that.
Still wafted from the kitchen. Scant hours ago, these tables had been filled with men, joking in camaraderie over their evening meal. Just as my father's men do back home in Siraf.
Yep, this is normal. Yep, normal. Completely normal.
Within the castle walls with no enemy to fight. How could they know the enemy was already
So, this is quite a dangerous section. Enemies, please. Right. Like I say, this is a dangerous section for one reason. Farah. Farah will be getting attacked by enemies right now. I can't prevent that, because I have to climb up here as quickly as possible. She's actually holding her own quite well though for now. Please don't jinx it, Grizz, for the love of God. I draw my sword here, stand in the specific spot, let the door push me out, and that should be good. feel like that's good. Yeah, it's good, yeah. Music stopped, so. I'm gonna run up here, up to this ledge. Make sure I kind of try and hit this low trigger up here. Sometimes I hit it, sometimes I don't. I can't explain why. I don't know exactly where it is. I just know it's up near that wall somewhere. So that this area is fully loaded. Which it is not. I've missed it somehow. Oh well. Gonna have to die.
That didn't.
Excellent, happy days. Areas are now reloaded. Now we can go down here and unfortunately retrieve Farah.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Mention it. We're above the zoo. We'll need to cross that bridge. Now what?
So, this is quite literally the only reason we need Farah in these runs. She needs to activate buttons. If not, we would pretty much just try and leave her behind 100% of the time, which we can do in other categories because we have glitches to abuse. But in this one, it's a lot more difficult as, like I say, we don't have a lot of to our disposal to skip anything really. So, we are coming up to, if I remember correctly, we're coming up to Farah Tower, which is quite a boring segment as it's relatively casual. You can't necessarily skip anything there. There's not a lot of areas where you can skip something in this game, but we're going to leave Farah behind here just because we don't need her here yet. We're going to grab a checkpoint and die and reload the area anyway just to get Farah back. But right now, just for speed, we can close that door and then just continue on to the checkpoint. Very, very simple area this one is. So there's a checkpoint, got it. Let's just die and reload to get Farah, because we do need Farah here, unfortunately. We need her to pull a switch, basically. So do this. And here is another relatively boring segment. So, Mr. Host, Mr. Nordic, do you have anything that you could possibly say to our beloved audience?
Now pull the lever.
Mr. Nordic. Well, it seems as though we've been left by Mr. Nordic for now, so I'll just have to entertain you whatever way I know how. Which is just, for some random reason, just a little bit of trivia within the pop community. It is now part, well, not necessarily part of the rules, but like an unofficial rule, where for your run to be verified, you have to look at Farah as she's climbing up this place. Don't know why, don't know why. Just is. Blame Eraser. Okay, so. Friends, just fall down, please. There we go. Excellent, happy days. Right. So, another thing to do is, while we are progressing over here, there is something that I want to explain about this run. It's, gone under a lot of changes recently. I missed it. It's right here. There you go. So, this run has gone under a lot of changes recently because of it's not necessarily a new route because this game is quite linear, but there's been a few new skips that have been implemented into the run. A lot of which I probably won't be using because a lot of them are not necessarily RNG heavy, but relatively difficult to do, essentially. But this run is, like, as it is now, the route I'm using is relatively casual, relatively easy, and all around just a nice, fun, casual time, really. If you're into Prince of Persia and you enjoy speedrunning, this is the category to start with. There's not a lot to memorize other than the actual route of the game itself. But you don't have to memorize any glitches, many strats, to be honest with you, if you just want to run it casually, just for a little bit of fun. But realistically, the estimate that we've gotten, 2 hours, is honestly, that's very forgiving, to be honest with you, because I haven't ran this game since January, really, and I didn't have a lot of time to do much practice either. So 2 hours seemed relatively fair with a lot of free time. But right now, we're actually on a reasonably decent pace. It's not anywhere near world record or anything like that, but it's decent compared to my PB, which is a 1:45 now.
All right. You go on down. I'll find another way in.
Try not to take too long.
Oh, I messed up there. There we go.
I'm up here.
I'm going to have a quick look at chat. I'm trying to look at chat as much as I can, but sometimes I'm just not going to see it. I keep messing up these little jumps. God damn it.
Main open balcony. Come on, I'll show you.
Right, there we go. I'm going to grab this just for safety. I don't really need it, but I'm just going to grab it just to be on the safe side, because it's nice to have a little bit of safety in runs. Okay, let's have a quick look at chat. Is this where you do all the crazy zips with the reverse time? You do a lot of zips in any percent. Yeah, you can do zips pretty much anywhere and everywhere. And it's a very glitch heavy category, to be honest. Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. Oh well, I messed that up. I was trying to avoid that cutscene, but the prince decided to do a rule instead of a wall bounce. Okay, fair enough. I'll deal with it.
Here I am.
Right, so
The gate leads to the back.
we're going to run all the way over here,
You can find your way there.
hit a load trigger, rewind back to where we were, because now that we have the load trigger, we can now skip this entire area.
Leads to the back.
So, slap these barrels away, line up our camera,
Finding my way to the baths from here should be easy.
run all the way along the top of this wall. Trust me, this isn't a glitch. This is quite literally just abusing boundaries.
I'll just ask the first sand creature I run into. Could you direct me to the baths, please? Well, thank you. Don't mention it. I used to be a bath attendant back when I was alive.
Right, so,
The baths.
one thing I didn't explain earlier is torpedoes. They allowed you to fall. Let's try that again. One thing I didn't explain about torpedoes is that they allow you to fall just a little bit further than an average drop. So we torpedo there just to get enough of fall distance to survive that. Otherwise, we would just die all the time there. So it's a nice little strat just to save a little bit of time. Please ignore the fact that I died the first time. I rewound that, so technically it never happened.
Across the other side of the city. I had a lovely wash and a rub with fragrant oils. Too bad you weren't there. Stop talking to yourself.
Really? That missed? Alright, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. I'll accept it. I'll accept it. I don't want to, but I will accept it. Yikes, lots of swearing. I'm Geordie, alright? If I swear a lot, it's... I can't even use that as an excuse, to be honest with you. I just naturally swear a lot. If I do swear, I'm sorry. I'm trying not to. But sometimes it'll just come out. So I do apologize. To Jack, a heart notice me, GrizzzzBear Senpai. To Jack, how could I never not notice you? 1, 2, 3, 4, dit.
Did somebody say?
Please notice me, senpai!
Welcome back, Nordic. So, I'm actually going through a relatively simple area here with not a lot to talk about other than the fact that I'm just running along walls and just general casual platforming. So, if you want to take it away with anything, now's your time.
Well, you know, I just want to, make sure that we mention what we're here to do, right?
That's probably a good
we're
idea.
here to, we're here to raise money for an amazing charity called Crisis. And they are a charity that supports people to get out of homelessness for good. They achieve this through education, training, and support with housing, employment, and health. 100% of your donations will be supporting Crisis. And here's more about what they do in their own words, right? So, about housing, for instance, they help homeless people find and keep a rented home. We do this by working with landlords to ensure a supply of places to live and giving homeless people the tools and knowledge they need to rent successfully. Our Housing Resource Center provides information and training for housing professionals, and the Help to Rent database lists private sector renting schemes all across the UK. So, again, we're raising money for a pretty awesome cause. I'd love to see some more donations come in before the night's through.
Controller, please do as I'm telling you to do. There we go. Just a small skip there. Sometimes it's not worth it, but I just like to do it because it looks cool. Took a bit too long to set up, but oh well. So I don't necessarily need the SoundCloud. I'm going to get it for safety again. I'm trying not to take too many SoundClouds, as I don't want to give myself another sand tank, as that's going to ruin the later half of the game, essentially. Because once you get enough of your half moons to fill your sand gauge, you can then go into a super move called Mega Freeze, and I want that as soon as possible. Larry the Cucumber. Hey Grizz, you've played this before, haven't you? I have played it too many times before. So many times that you could say that I've completely forgotten everything about it. If anybody in the chat has any questions for me, feel free to ask them, and I'll do my best to answer them. Like I said, this is quite a casual category, so I'm able to look at chat a fair bit, to be honest with you. I mean, personally, I kind of more interested in running the remake right now rather than the original, as I'm kind of excited for remake to come out. It's been a long time since I've seen a new Prince of Persia title, not necessarily a new one in this case, but it's been so long since this franchise has had any love, man. Yes, Weary, I did in fact break the pot. There is a strat here that I can do. I don't actually remember exactly how to do it, so I'm not going to do it. It saves a few seconds anyway. It's more so platforming that it saves, so just not going to do it. Like I say, I don't remember how to do it, and I'm not going to embarrass myself by trying to do a strat I have no idea about. Question for you, what's the difference between a duck? Not really understanding your question, Vert. What's the worst pop game? 2K8, in my opinion. Of course, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Laris, you a Geordie, Grizz? I am indeed a Geordie. I apologise for that notion, because I kind of feel like I have to. We Geordies are a weird race of people. It's mainly our accents that are weird. There we go. So. This entire section is quite casual, to be honest. So, I'm trying to look and see what kind of questions I can answer, if any questions are coming up in the chat. I've seen a few. Larry the Cucumber, let's have a look. Anyone interested? Yes, it's great to see this. Oh, there's a huge community behind the Pop Prince of Persia games. Like, there's a lot of us all around the globe. So, if you haven't seen anything from this, I'm surprised. This game has been at the Pop games have been at GDQ, ESC. They've been everywhere, essentially. So, I'm surprised that this will be the first time you've actually seen this in a speedrunning scenario. And I'm sorry that it's me that you'll be seeing. I am not the best runner of this game. Right, so normally in this section, if I was running my regular category called Zipless, I would be in a state called Zombie, which is you have 0 HP, and enemies do not target you, spike traps will not trigger, and you cannot trigger any checkpoints either. So the fact that we don't have Zombie right now is a little bit off-putting for me since I'm used to having it, but it's not so dominant in this section that I can't get by without it. Literally the only thing that really helps in this section is that the enemies just won't teleport you in front of you continuously. It's nice not to have that, I guess, but right now it's not my main concern. Yeah, but Judy Cooper is hard. No, I get that, dude. I get it. Here's the second time I've seen it. Oh, you might have seen me run this game zipless at UKSG. Oh, when did I run UKSG zipless? It was, I think it was the last time we were in Glasgow, maybe, or the time before. Still back in 2019 though. So, now we're in another fighting section. So, there's another skip that we can do at the end of this fighting section, which I'm going to try and get. It skips an entire dialogue and small, like, kind of cutscene thing. Oh, that's not what I wanted, but I'll take it. Summer 2019 sounds correct, Jack. Yeah, because it was right before Monster Rancher. I remember that now. Because I was half asleep for that entire run. I'm sorry, mate. I know I was commentating on your run and everything, but I really honestly was half asleep during that. That was a long night for me. I am not used to not running on sleep. I need to get this blue guy away from Farah, really. Because she's getting in the way a bit. Are there any major, any percent glitches in this run? No. Like I say, this is no major glitches, so there wouldn't be any major glitches in the run anyway. Right, so this will be second wave. Right, so I'm going to start dragging enemies over to this side. If this lassie right here would just go down, God. But yeah, there are 3 major any percent categories in Santa Time, and in fact all Santa Time trilogy games. There are any percent standard, which is not referring to the difficulty, it is referring to the actual like normalization of the any percent category. There is any percent zipless and any percent NMG, which is what I'm running now. Any percent, anything goes, essentially. The only thing that you cannot do is have your frames higher than 60, and I'll use anything to do with alt tabbing. The next one, zipless. Again, anything goes except for the first 2 things again. 60 frames, no alt tabbing, and you cannot use the zipping glitch, which is why it's called zipless. Pretty self-explanatory. And the last one, which is NMG, which is what I'm running now. No major glitches. Pretty self-explanatory. So again, we take the save, auto crash the game, and go straight back into the load. That would have, if it works, has skipped a dialogue cutscene, and it has. Excellent, happy days. So we've now saved a fair bit of time. What happens above 60 frames per second? The game does some really janky stuff at anything higher than 60 frames per second. It also makes any percent a lot easier to route, as zipping depends on the amount of frames that your PC is running at, and so your game is running at. So anything above 60 frames, zips start to get not necessarily uncontrollable, but inconsistent is the way I should word that. So locking it at 60 just makes every category a lot more consistent and not as janky. This game is janky enough as it is.
We must have come out the wrong side of the baths. We'll need to go back through the royal palace.
All right.
So,
let's find a
this
way out.
is a part of the game which I really, really hate. Reason being,
Ow!
Sorry.
I'm going to ignore that. I'm going to ignore that Farah shot me. Just go with it. Nobody saw that. I rewound time. It no longer exists. None of you saw Farah shoot me. Right, so, now that we got one enemy left, stab him, knock him down. Right, so, now, the thing that we need to do here is we need to activate the middle pillar using the light. Because light is the source of power in this game, I guess. I don't know how Persia worked back in the day. Come back here because I'm going to need to knock that wall out in a second. So, that should be a good position. Yep, I can hear the enemies up again, but nice knee shot. Okay, so now that the middle pillar is activated, I can just continue up to get to the next part of the area. Let's have a look here. What's going on back in the chats?
Well, hey, I've got something going on.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I've got a pretty awesome thing going on here. It's $100
Holy.
from Dial Gadamer Zero. I hope I didn't butcher that too badly.
Dialga I think that is. I recognize it.
Dialga Tamer.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that's
there
what
you
it is.
go. My apologies. Anyway, that $100 has a real simple comment. Hi, Grizz.
Hey, Dialga. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for the $100.
And you know what? I'll give out a very warm to you as well.
I love that soundbox, by the way. It's actually really nice. Nobody saw that. Nobody saw that. I rewound time. It no longer exists. I rewound time again. It no longer exists. Nothing happened.
Where is that glow coming from?
Like, having the dagger at time in this run is very useful. Instead of just ultimately failing something and then not even being able to have another go at it, the dagger at time just makes this so much more accessible to people. Because you can literally try something, fail it if you do, rewind, and have another go. It's what makes this category so chill, really. There's so much sand, so many enemies to kill, and it just makes the game, like I say, more accessible to new runners.
That's supposed to mean.
Game, I'm tapping this. I'm trying to attack with the sword, it's just not doing it.
Useful. Try finding a book that'll tell us how to get out of here.
This isn't that kind of game.
Game. She thinks
Right,
this is
so
a game.
this is a relatively hard skip to do. So I'm trying to line this mirror up in the perfect position that looks about right to me. Drop down here, do this, do this. That camera angle looks right. That camera angle was not right. Must be... Where did I even hit? That one? Nope. Last attempt. Nope, not what I wanted to do. Try that one. That's not going to work. Oh, no, it did. Oh, my God. On the last sand as well. Right, so that's exactly what we wanted. Where is Farah? Farah? Stay away from them spikes, lady. I see you going towards them. Just keep on moving back. That's a good lassie. Oh, you...
Wait. She did.
Oh, that's a big bit of time loss. Ah, that's rip. Worse things have happened, though. Worse things have happened. It's fine, it's fine. I was expecting something to go wrong, okay? I was expecting something to go wrong. That is fair. At least she hasn't crashed the game. You can do that.
Listen to this. Of what use is reason?
So, let's get rid of these bats again.
Love is life. So if you want to live, die in love. Die in
And let's
love.
try this again. So, what I'm doing with this mirror, if you missed the skip the last time, is I'm moving it into a very specific position. The reason is I can then torpedo off the mirror. 1, 2...
Game. She thinks this
It
is
looks
a
more
game.
right for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being an idiot. Really? That looks right to me, though. There we go. That's better. Right. Let's just go with it without checking where Farah's position is. Because if she's gonna die, she's gonna die. I can't prevent that. And she appears to be good, I guess. I don't know what happened the first time, but Farah just decided to do what Farah does and just ruin our runs. I have no clue. No clue whatsoever. Right, okay, so. Now we need to open this door. Open this one, grab the mirror, because we need light. We need light to be in a very specific spot, because we're going to be upgrading our sword once again. That position looks okay. So. Yep, that's perfect. Excellent. Happy days. Right, so. Right. I am nice and chill. Everything's going well. I mean, it could be going a lot worse. But it stands a time something's bound to go wrong eventually.
Well, hey, you want some good news?
I would love some good news.
Well, we've got great news.
Oh.
And that's that we went over $1,500, everyone. We're at
Excuse-
1,510.
Holy.
So thank you, everybody, for your amazing generosity. And that is due to the 3 donations we just got in. We got $5 from Shep saying, hey, are we at 1,500 yet? Yes. Yes, we are. And that $5 went towards what is this? The Ripto's Rage Bone Dance Fun Time Cheat Showcase for Spyro 2 tomorrow. So looking forward to that. We've got $5 from Weary Archon. It says, go Grizz go. And he's put that $5 towards saving Meryl in Metal Gear Solid tomorrow. And then we've got another $5 from Smathlax97. It says, hey, Coward, you're doing a great job. Just don't forget to pull your sword out at the end of Mystic Puzzle. P.S.
Wait.
You're wrong, and 2K8 is the best Prince of Persia game. Bye.
I'm sorry. Thank you for the donation, Smath. But at the end of the day, you're wrong. You're just wrong. No. Well done, guys. Thank you so much for pushing us above 1,500. That was incredible. Right, again, more combat, zooming in, and just doing what I have to do. That was dangerous. Sorry. Right, so I can't die here. I can't rewind. I can't do anything that could... Oh, God. Okay, I can't do anything that could potentially cause Farah to crash the game. Because, again, if I rewind, she will crash the game. Because, like I said earlier, the game looks for Farah on a rewind. Where the hell is everybody? There they are. Enemies, please. The game looks for Farah on a rewind. So, if I were to rewind the game at any point now, the game would check for her. It would realize that it can't find her and just automatically game over. And in most cases, end up crashing the game. So, let's try not to do that. Getting some cheeky little counters off. Not much, but I'm trying to play roughly around the center of this place. Just for a little bit of safety, because I've already nearly killed myself twice here. I don't want to do it a third time. Because the third time I probably will kill myself. And that doesn't sound like a very good time.
There should be a way to make this thing go up. See if you can find a switch.
So now we're on to probably one of my favourite segments of this game, actually. Observatory.
Done.
Gonna save the game here. Now we've got our nice little checkpoint. So next up, we're gonna have to kill ourselves again. And that will get us Farah back, because we need Farah again, unfortunately, to activate more switches. Even if this was zipless, we would have to get Farah back anyway, because zipless things do have to do zipless things. So, I'm gonna line myself up on this fence here. All run over here, and we skipped the entire puzzle. Excellent, happy days. That saved us a lot of time. That's one of the bigger skips in the run. And it's quite cool because it's very simple to do. It's quite literally just line yourself up correctly and you've skipped an entire puzzle. That's how easy it is to skip some of the things in this game.
Here I come!
Wait! Don't you need to open
So,
the gate?
now that we've skipped the entire puzzle, we're going to have to do a large jump here to hit a load trigger. There it is, hit it. Let's go all the way back up and pull the switch. So that will open the door at the bottom. This door right here. Yes, I know it's not opening, but just bear with me a second. We hit everything in reverse. So by the time I get down here, the game will catch up with itself and the door will be open.
Come on!
So that is one of the bigger skips that you'll see. There is one more big one. I messed that up. Oh well.
You can take the
So,
crack.
this traps corridor, very, very simple. There's not really a lot going on in this traps corridor. However, I do want to make a note of this place is quite literally one of the most hated places I have of this game. As I was a kid, I actually, for some reason, just really struggled in this trap corridor. I've got no understanding of why I did. I just really struggled.
Do you think I can
But now it's all like second nature to me.
Try. What's the worst that can happen? There you go.
Going for a nice little cheeky... No, I didn't get it. Damn it. Oh, that's a dead run. So what I was trying to do is I was trying to skip this little cutscene and save about 7 seconds. But unfortunately, I didn't get the skip. I am a terrible Santa Time speed runner. Oh well. So we're coming on to from one of my most loved segments as a kid, and because of how difficult it was for me to navigate, to one of my most hated segments. Now I'm going to try a skip here. I'll give it 2 times. I'll give it 2 tries, and if it doesn't work, then fair play. Why am I... Oh, well, it's failed now. So, yep, that was my 2 tries. It's failed. I don't care. Let's just do it the slightly skipped way. And I messed that up because I don't know why.
I don't know. I'm working it out as I go.
Okay, that should have worked, I feel like. But okay, so I'm trying to do a cheeky little wall run here to get up on this ledge now, which has worked. Change my camera around. The wall run across to here, skipping another little bit of section. Do the jump here. We land on this side of the fence, which is all well and good. Now we can jump over, and now we have another checkpoint, which is great, because we all love checkpoints, especially me when I have no sands. So, we're going to do a different method of getting down, though. We're not going to backtrack here. We could if we really wanted to, but it's a lot slower, and there's a much quicker way of getting down anyway. So, I'm going to come out here, do a cheeky little wall run here. Didn't work. Oopsie.
After all, she is a Maharaja's daughter.
That didn't work either. Oh well. Set this up again.
Blood is royal. Besides,
Really?
what better
Come on,
way to
game.
tame her insolence? It's not so bad for a woman to have a little spirit.
Game.
It's a challenge.
I'm going to do it this way. There, work now. So, do a cheeky little wall around here. Sort of correct place. And now we are all the way down on the bottom. That was one of the first skips I ever learned in this game, actually. I think it was like the second or third skip I learned. And it's kind of engraved into my system. For exactly where to do the wall run. So. What was I about to say? Oh yes, we are coming up to, quite literally, what I would say is probably the hardest part of the game, I would say, at least for me personally. I hate this next segment. I don't know what it is about it, I just struggle with it a lot, I guess. But hopefully I can get something going with it. Right, so we are going into the prison now. And this is where the real game begins. Because the prince takes off his shirt, proving that he is, like, a man's man, essentially. Because that's what you do back in 2003 games, I guess. You prove, like, you're proper macho or whatever. I don't know. Just whatever Ubisoft do, whatever Ubisoft do. But this segment is something that I hate. Because I struggled with this a lot as a kid. I struggled a lot with this when I started speedrunning it. And I still struggle a lot with it now. So hopefully something good comes out of this.
In my father's palace was a
Hopefully.
much like this. I had never set foot inside.
I've got some good news for you.
Here I was.
Please come in with the good news. I'll need every little bit I can take.
Oh, well, I've got a pretty big chunk of good news.
Oh.
It's $150 worth of good news.
That is a lot of
And
good
it's
news.
And it's coming in from Versia or Virtua. It looks like the pop community's coming in pretty hard tonight. It says, "Hey Grizz, here's $1 for every time you totally didn't have to rewind time." Although since it never happened, I guess I just have to guess how many times it didn't happen. P.S. Watch out for that elevator.
Thank you so much, Vit. That is a lot of money to donate, so thank you so much for that. And have I actually rewound 150 times? I'm not even sure. Like, it's kind of got me a little bit self-conscious, and that's a death. Because I was not thinking straight at that time, but oh well, it's just a minute loss. Things happen. So, that one did happen. That's the only one that did happen so far. But, no, thank you so much for that donation. You are truly, truly, truly a special person.
Incidentally, with that donation, just to call out a couple of our upcoming incentives for tomorrow, that incentive or that donation let us actually meet the incentive to show Great Jana Sisters any % with warps, the Shadow Realm ending. So that one just got met thanks to that donation. And we are now only $25 away from meeting the incentive to show off the Fun Time and Cheat Showcase in Spyro 2. So again, y'all have just been absolutely killing it tonight. Thank you so much for all your generosity. And yeah, it's super appreciated.
Yeah, it really truly is, especially for such a great cause like Crisis. Honestly, thank you guys so much. So I'm doing a skip here. I don't think that was enough. No, it wasn't. Crap. Do I take the death or do I just take the box? I'll take the box. I'm not going to try redoing that. There is a skip that you can do there, which abuses the Mega Freeze function and lets you skip, well, not skip over, but kind of teleport with Mega Freeze to over the switch deactivation trigger. Right, you should be the last one. So let's just grab this box and do this the old-fashioned way. So, if I had used Mega Freeze properly and actually teleported to the right enemy, I wouldn't have to be doing this right now, and I'll be already through this area. So that's my bad. That is my bad. Just about a minute's worth of time loss right there. It's not really too much of a problem. Sound are we on? We're plenty sands, plenty sands. Should be okay.
It was the first time I had seen such devices at close range, close enough to touch. Where were the men whose trade it had been to apply the question?
So,
Extract the answer their king sought.
you've seen these bats plenty times by now, right? And you must know already that I hate bats.
Same fate as their victims. Guards and prisoners made equal by the
So I'm just
sands
gonna
of time.
wait until these bats come back in, slap them, and then they're gone. And I don't have to deal with them at all again. 2, 3, 4. I am trying to read chat as much as possible, but please, chat, forgive me if I miss something. There are certain sections that I do have to properly pay attention for, and there's others where I'm quite literally just muscle memorying my way through it. So if I do miss something, I am sorry, but I'm trying to read as much as possible. So, we are almost at the dreaded elevator segment. So, we're going to do another skip here, right? And hopefully this works first time, otherwise I'll be quite a sad bear. I am a sad bear then. I'm still a sad bear, because now these enemies are in my way, and they're going to annoy the hell out of me. Like this guy. This guy right here is exactly where I needed to be. They're quite literally in my way. I'm going to have to run away for a second. It's alright, we have a checkpoint here, so worst case scenario, we just have to reset the checkpoint. Sure, it's like right there. Maybe it's not, maybe it's just a little bit closer. Where is this spot? I'm trying to run up the wall at a certain point so that I can grab up onto that ledge, but I'm having a bad time with it. I'm having a bad time with this. Oh, God. One of those days. One of those days in SOT. There we go. That is what I wanted. Finally got it. There was nothing wrong with that. Nobody saw that. Nobody saw me fail. Farah is actually doing well by herself. I'm not gonna lie. Like, of all the times Farah could have died in this run, she's actually survived quite a few. And I'm the one that's actually dying because enemies are stun locking me. There we go. Farah! I don't know if I have enough time here. Nope, I do. Excellent. Run, please. Farah. Farah, please run. I don't want you to get hit again. It's that one, so run to the left. Right, so this is the last sound cloud that I'm going to get. And that will fill everything so that I've got Mega Freeze back straight away. For when the dreaded elevator comes along. So, this is quite possibly the worst part of the game. And quite literally where the real game begins. Because this is an elevator where you just have to kill a too many amount of enemies. Like, if a lot of complaints about this game raise from the combat. And it's understandably just when you have to deal with the amount of enemies that are on this elevator, just rinse and repeating continuously. So I can understand a lot of people's complaints about this game when they talk about the combat. So, just waiting for them to spawn, wait until they're all near, and then just Mega Freeze. Trying to take out all the big dudes first. But I can then just easily take down the next wave with power attacks. And hopefully you get a second Mega Freeze quite quickly. I have to be careful and watch Farah's health, because if she dies at the wrong time, then it's essentially game over. Because every time you retrieve an enemy, your sand timer will reset, which is a white circle underneath my health bar. So that is how much time you can rewind time with. That made very little sense, but I'm sure somebody would have understood it. So, that actually went really well. Farah didn't lose that much HP. I don't know if I'll have enough. No, that's just enough. Literally just enough to get the last enemy. So yeah, that is the entire elevator fight. Thankfully, it went off without a hitch. That's actually one of the better elevators I've had. If not one of the best. Oh, by the way, you can do this for no reason. Just saying. Oh, and now I'm just going to get absolutely ruined. Oh, no, second try. Excellent. Happy days. Yeah, for some reason there's some weird physics going on and collision going on with the game there. Sometimes it'll just let you run up and grab the switch. Other times you'll get stuck. Can't explain it.
I can feel it. I can't explain it.
So, we have gone through this entire game to reach this hourglass. And for those of you who don't know the story, that's exactly what it's about. Reaching the hourglass so that we can undo the Sands of Time. So, we're finally at the Sands of Time, and this is where the real game begins. So, here we are. Cutscene. Skip the cutscene because it's an unnecessary. And now we're stuck inside this 2.5 minute long cutscene with absolutely nothing that we can do about it. So, Mr. Nordic, could you please take it away, as I am in need of my mandatory NMG break.
You think you're cleverer than everybody, but you're just like the rest of them.
I can. Sorry about that. My
No
mute
worries.
button didn't want to work there. Yeah. So, I just want to give a final shout out for the night to, the channel that you're looking at right now, ESA. Right, ESA has been here to support us with this marathon, not just providing us with the channel for streaming, but they're sharing gear, they're sharing technical assistance, they're even sharing sponsors. So, you might want to go check out their next little event. It's no big deal. Just coming up over Halloween. It's Break the Record Live. It's Sonic Adventure DX edition of Break the Record Live. It's gonna be insane. So check that out right here on this channel on ESA from the 30th of October through the 1st of November. We also want to thank BSG for supporting this marathon. They hold bi-monthly gatherings in the Netherlands. They've supported UKSG right from the very beginning by spreading the word and by providing us with a channel to stream on in past sessions, amongst other things. So mark your calendars for this as well. BSG Online 3 is coming up from the 20th through the 22nd of November. And submissions are open right up until the 6th of November. So if you want to come and join in the fun, if you want to be a part of one of these marathons, submit a game. Come on over, check it out. We're going to have a ton of fun over at BSG. And then all these events, they're streamed right here on the ESA channel. So stick around here, get a sub in here. You'll be able to check out these upcoming events ad-free.
Thank you, Nordic. I just want to make a couple of quick shout outs on myself, actually, while I've got a little bit of spare time here. As coming out of this cutscene, there's quite a long segment where it's a lot of stairs and a small puzzle. So, first of all, shout outs to the Prince of Persia community. They're absolutely great. friendly, helpful, quite literally the best community I've ever been a part of. Like, if you're interested in speedrunning and interested in Prince of Persia, just join us. Like, we're a bunch of friendly memes. Then there's not really much more I can say about that. If you're interested in running Sands of Time, Warrior Within, weirdly enough, if you enjoy it, 2K8, just hit us up. We're a bunch of really nice people. Secondly, to everybody who's in the chat right now, you guys have helped me through this run quite a bit. It's a long run. It's quite possibly one of the longest runs I do. And I stupidly drank 5 cups of tea before I started this run, so I've got a little bit of a headache from the amount of sugar and caffeine running through me right now.
Where are you?
But yeah, Bert for donating $150. Dialga as well. I love you, my friends, for the 100. Mathlex, I saw yours. Weary, I saw yours as well. You guys are amazing. I love you all. Across.
If only we could stay here.
2 to the left. Across.
Where are you?
And 1 final across. Or I could just listen for the water. Because apparently that's a thing, I guess.
What the? All right.
Next one is 2, 3, 4 to the right.
Farah?
2 to the right.
Why do you act so distant?
And then 1 final doorway, which is 4 to the right. And I remember what Smash said about taking my sword out, and I'm not going to do it, because you're not allowed to do that in this category, because it's a major glitch. Because if I were to take my sword out and walk into that final doorway, I would be stuck in a state, because when you transition areas, you are technically in the same state that you left the previous one in. So, because Prince has lost his weapons, and I had my weapons out previously, you'll be stuck in a animation with the sword continuously out. So, I'm not going to do that. You can abuse that to do a skip later on in this next room if you were running zipless, but in NMG you can't do that. So, sorry Smath, but I'm not going to ruin this run for you.
Oh no.
I mean, I could, but I'm not gonna. So, instead I'm going to do another kind of skip. So, I've positioned that mirror in a certain position so that I can jump on top of it, walk along the banister, look into the right place, and fail it. Oh well. Oh well. I'm going to try that again. So, get on top of here, walk across the banister, fail it again, because I'm an idiot. This is a lot easier than I'm making it out to be, by the way. I really suck at this category. There we go, that's what I wanted. So, we lost our weapons, but we rolled into this cutscene, and we get our weapons back randomly. So, we should have the last sword at this point, because that puzzle that we skipped there gives you the last sword. And because we'd never get it, the game just gives you the previous sword that you had, which is pretty cool, to be honest with you, even though we're not going to use it for a little bit. And this is the final climb. It's quite possibly the hardest part of the run, because you don't have access to the Dagger of Time. Because of it, you have to be essentially perfect with your movement, otherwise you're going to fall, die, go back to your previous checkpoint, which are quite few and far between, to be honest with you, in this run. So, you have to be quite careful with what you're doing. But it's not too difficult. Or it shouldn't be anyway. So, this section has a small little bit of optimization. You jump against that little bit of wall there to get up here a little bit quicker. You can do the exact same thing here because it puts you at just enough of an angle to send you towards a pillar. Skip an entire midsection here by jumping up that bit of platforming. Slash some bats, because bats always get in the way. Just keep on jumping along. Tiny little climb here. Jump, jump, and that's a quick way of getting up there. And now it's just a case of casually jumping around these ledges. Avoiding the obvious traps. There shouldn't be any reason why I mess this up. I have never messed this place up before. It's never happened whatsoever. Nope. If anybody says so, they're lying. Nor has anybody messed up this segment ever before. It's most definitely not me. I've never messed up this segment. Absolutely not. There's no way that I've stopped jumping too high and absolutely killed myself. There's no way I would ever do something like that. And that's our first checkpoint. So, this next section, it can be a little bit tricky because there's more bats involved. But hopefully, if I do everything correctly, I'm not going to have too much of a problem. If I do everything correctly, that is. And there we go, we're up. And that's the next checkpoint. So, now, this is where the real game begins. Because there's a skip here that the community has dubbed as 50-50 skip. So, we stand here, well, hang here, flip. Oh, and it hasn't worked first try. Let's try this again. So, the point of this is to just swing in between these two pools until the prince, for no random reason, just grabs a ledge. And this, quite literally, will work at some point. Even though I've already wasted more time than it would save. There we go, that's what I wanted. So that is called 50-50 skip. And there's a 50% chance to work every single time you try it. That is the most amount of times I've ever had to do it before it has worked. And I'm quite gutted about that. I'm very gutted. The one time it didn't work first or second try, and I was at a marathon. I'm quite disheartened by that. 50-50 skip has failed me. Game, please get him off that. I kind of need to be up there, game. I'll do. This is why I love the final climb. That happened to me in the previous Santa Time run I did for UKSG. That's twice in a row the game has done that to me. Thank you. Thank you so much, Santa Time. Thank you. God's sake. It's fine, it's fine. We're still on pace. Still on a pretty decent pace, actually. This could be sub 150, to be honest. If things go well. I'm actually so disappointed with that. Yo, that clutch hammer. I'm actually really disappointed with that. Please just enjoy this cutscene. It's why we run this game, because we get to see Farah Carpet. She has ruined so many runs over the course of top speedrunning that this scene just makes up for everything that she's done. The amount of times that she has crashed our games and ruined our speedruns. So this is the final fight. And already I'm having a bad time with it. So, these enemies, you've seen them quite a few times now. They like to block most attacks that you do. So, quite literally, the easiest way to deal with them is just torpedo attacks. And I'm getting a little bit swarmed here, and I'm not enjoying that. It would help if the torpedo actually worked properly as well. I'm stuck. So, I have to play this very safe now, because I'm essentially on a one-hit kill basis now. I'm playing quite dangerously as well. I shouldn't be. But I just said I should play this quite safely, but I'm not. I'm just playing very dangerously. Ah. Dude. Right, where's the last one? Nearly died. Just gonna torpedo this guy because I can. Right, there we go. And that is it. That was the final fight of the game.
Done.
Let's do one more save, one more crash. So, now we move on to the quote-unquote boss battle. Which, after everything that we've been through, all we've done in this run, we're now at this.
For your own safety, I suggest you flee.
This is the one thing I really want fixed in SOT Remake. Like, out of everything that's happened, like, I just want this fight to be good, you know? Because the strat here is very simple. You mega freeze the first phase, second and third phase, which is literally the exact same as first and second. You just jump over him and slap him twice. So it's, out of everything that you do, coming to this fight it's a little bit disappointing from a casual standpoint.
He will judge.
I mean, sure, he can hit you, but he does literally no damage.
Vizier, I have commanded you to stop. Do you disobey?
I've taken orders long enough from a senile fool and a sniveling
So,
brat. Your father was a great warrior in his youth.
very simple. Very simple fight. So that second phase got one more to go through.
Did you really think you could defeat me?
And then time will be coming up shortly after that.
Careful. Don't tire yourself.
He's actually been a bit of a meme today. Makes a change. Makes a change indeed. But yeah, once you get him in the cycle, it's pretty simple. There you go. That's that done. Run over the big dude, slap him in the face, and time will be coming up shortly after this cutscene. My PB for this game, and this category anyway, is 1:45. 1 hour 45.
Slain by the son of his enemy. Do you have any last words you wish me to communicate to the princess before I...
Farah's was the boss of this game. She really is the boss, to be honest. Stab, slap, slap, stab again, and that's time. And that is Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time, any percent NMG. So, yep, again, just a couple of quick shout outs. Pop community, we're great. We'd love some new runners. If anybody's interested, just come on in and just ban out with her. We're a bunch of really friendly people. So, if you want to play this game, if you want to speedrun it, just join the Discord and we'll help you out. No problem. Another quick shout outs. I suppose the main one is going to be for Hanajo, because without him I wouldn't even be speedrunning this game, I guess. If I hadn't seen his run, I wouldn't have been inspired to do this myself, so thank you to him. And I guess the biggest one of all goes to UKSG and what they're doing for accepting this run to begin with, considering how well Sands of Time went the last time I ran it for them. But no, thanks a lot for them, and hope the event keeps on being a great one for them this time around as well. So that'll be it from me. So